This is John Cola with OKRaw.com. Today I have another exciting episode for you. We're here at the China Ranch Date Farm. This is an amazing place where they have literally, hundreds of date palms growing with over dozens of varieties of different dates. And I know most of you guys have only had medjool dates, and those are the most common ones, but to me, they suck the most. They taste horrible, and I don't like them because there's so many other varieties that you guys haven't experienced, and some taste caramelly, and some taste more, nougaty, and some are more sweet, some are more water rich. They're all a little bit different. So what we're gonna do in this video is actually go over to the date palms where they're growing and share some more important information about the dates that are grown here and that may be available at your local health food or even grocery store. Now we're standing in the China Ranch Date Palm Orchard, and there's literally hundreds of varieties of dates. And what I want to share with you guys in this video is that, my opinions on dates. Many people in the raw foods diet may make, one of the staple foods they eat in their diet, like dates and maybe even bananas, and eat a lot of those for their calories. Why I think they're definitely better than eating bananas and dates than, junk food and fast food. I think it's far better to eat, a wider variety of food, and don't make any one food your staple, but make many different kinds of foods your staple. Maybe this week, dates are your staple. Next week, make another dried fruit if you want to eat high calorie foods, or, even make more water rich foods a staple. On a daily basis or a weekly basis, I eat all different kinds of fruits and vegetables because I don't really have a staple. They're all staples. Well, maybe I eat coconuts a bit more often than not. Anyways, I think on a raw foods diet, you really need to eat a wide variety of foods and not just one kind all the time. Now, I think dates are an excellent food, especially if you need quick energy or quick calories that can be stored. For example, if you're going hiking or long distance running, dates are small and light and they're raw. They have high nutrients and high calories, but I think there's far better foods to eat. So what I'm gonna do next is actually go to one of my favorite date palms where you could actually eat the unripe fruit or more water-rich fruit, and then I'm gonna go ahead and harvest some fresh dates for you guys to share with you what they're like. Now we're standing next to the Barhi date palm. This is from Iraq. This is one of my favorite kind of dates because you can eat them in the kalal stage. The kalal stage is the stage when they're not fully ripe and they still may be yellow. Some dates may be nice and astringent when they're yellow, but the Barhi will not be as astringent. When the Barhis turn ripe on the vine, man, they're so juicy and water rich and also sweet as well. What I want to do next with you guys is actually go over and harvest some fresh dates and share some more information about them. Now we're next to one of my other favorite varieties of dates. This is actually called the diary date, and I want to show you guys these. You can see there's a whole bunch of ripe dates up in there, and some on the bottom are still red, and when they're red, they're not fully ripe, but when they get nice and dark, they are fully ripe and ready to be harvested. And this is that guy right here. Now, of course, picking them fresh off the tree, I know these guys are truly raw because you know what? It's fresh. And I always encourage you guys to eat the freshest food whenever possible, even harvesting yourself like I just did. And remember, freshest is bestest. And I'm not an English major, so I could say that. And it's also a little catchy slogan that you can remember. John says freshest is bestest because the freshest food is always the bestest food. In any case, if you're not here to pick your own fresh dates, if you're buying dates from the grocery store, even the health food store, they may be steamed. Yes, steamed. They harvest them dry, like some of the varieties here, like the Deglet Noors. They harvest them dry. They're so dry that they're called a bread date, and they're rock hard, and people won't eat them, or people won't buy them. But they save really well. They store well, so the farmers won't lose their profit. What they do is they steam them, or basically to steam them to plump them up, and then they sell them to you, but they don't label that it's been steamed. So if you are eating certain dates, they may be steamed, so be aware of that. Then they wouldn't be considered raw. So for that reason, I generally don't like the Deglets, and also because, Deglets don't have necessarily a particularly good taste to me. So the best way to assure you're getting raw dates is to order the dates fresh, direct from the farmer so that they harvested them and that they kept them in a climate-controlled situation and then sold them to you so you're not getting steamed dates. Now we're standing next to a Hayani date palm, and this is actually a high moisture content date. So if you do choose to eat dates, definitely recommend and encourage you guys to eat the high water content dates. Now, this one is a high moisture content and also larger dates. So the problem they're having here at the date farm is that they tend to ferment faster, before they can sell them. So they have a limited shelf life. So for a date farm, that's really bad, but for your health, I believe that's really good. And that's a reason why high moisture dates are not often sold that often, because they can go bad and the farmers would lose their profits. Now we're here in the date palm orchard, and there's really hundreds of date palms all around me. And you know, they're all in different stages of growth. Some have already been harvested and some are soon to be harvested. You know, because they have so many different varieties here, some are harvested earlier and some are harvested later. We are here in December and looks like harvest is about 3/4 over, so they still got some harvesting to do. What I want to share with you guys next is actually, you know, we're going to go up to the date palm, which is right behind me, and no, those are not ghosts in the tree. They're actually shielding or covering the dates with a sheet to prevent the birds and other animals from eating them. So this also protects them. But what we're going to look at now is some fresh dates. So one of the things that I like to teach people about is actually eating high water content foods. If you're not eating a food that has a high water content, at least as high as your water content, which is about 70 to 75% if you're healthy, then the foods you're eating are going to dehydrate you and take your water from you. And many health conditions can be just simply alleviated by drinking more water, according to a book called The Body's Many Cries for Water, which is where the doctor who wrote the book talks about how just dehydration causes many issues. So, you know, why eat foods that are going to dehydrate you when you could eat foods that are going to hydrate you instead? Most dates that you buy in the store have been dehydrated or are naturally sun-dried to a moisture level of maybe 20 to 25%, so that's not a lot of water. For example, a watermelon is like 93% water, so that actually increases your water content. Dates, because they can be as low as 20 to 25%, will definitely steal your water from you. But because we're here at the date farm today, we're going to show you guys actually under this bunch, we're going to show you the dates in different stages of the ripening process. This is all the dates that are hanging here on the date palm, and as you can see, they're in different stages of ripeness. These guys are actually not yet ripe, and if you you know, took one of these guys and tried to eat it, it's actually chewy, mildly sweet, but tastes like that unripe Hychia persimmon. Sucks the saliva out of your mouth and not so good. Now this is actually very water rich. I don't know if we could squeeze this and almost the water is almost going to come out if I squeeze it, almost. And there are some varieties of dates that you can eat in this stage that won't be so astringent. If we go back underneath here again and we try to get one that's maybe, you know, a little bit, a couple shades lighter. This is not that brown or dark black date you're used to, but it's more of a tan color. This is actually very squishy. And you know, it's rare that they sell these, you know, at a store or out market, because what happens is if they're still this moist, they may like go bad on you. So this one, if I bite into it, much more water content than the dried ones, but not quite as sweet. Man, this is delicious. It kind of tastes like caramel to me. And if you save your date pit, these will actually grow into another palm. Finally, let's go ahead and grab one more date. Next, we're gonna grab one of these guys that's like much more dark. And here's one right here. And this one here is a lot more dark, and this is like more ripe or more dried. So this has a lower water content. And when the water content lowers, the sugar content goes up. This one is so sweet, but this one, as well as all the other dates I ate, probably stealing my water because the water content isn't so high. I want to encourage you guys actually to eat high water content foods. And while dates I think are excellent snack and can replenish you because they're really rich in a lot of different nutrients, including fiber, vitamin A, some of the vitamin Bs, and things like magnesium and calcium and iron, and even some antioxidants are contained within dates. I think it's far better to eat some fresh fruits, some high water content fruits, such as some of the berries for some antioxidants and some water content, and also they're so delicious. So for me personally, I rarely eat dates. They're not necessarily a staple of my diet, and I don't recommend that you guys make dates a staple to your diet either. But then again, you know, I always recommend good, better, best. If eating dates are going to prevent you from eating some, you know, hard candies, then I think it's definitely a good idea. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, learning more about my opinions on the dates. If you want more information about ordering some of the best dates around, please visit ChinaRanch.com. That's the farm that I'm at today. And be sure to check my other videos. I actually have a specific video on covering more about China Ranch than I did in this episode, which more talked about, what I think about dates on a raw foods diet. So I want to always encourage you guys actually to eat water-rich foods whenever possible, but if they're not available or you're traveling, then I think dates are an excellent substitute. I might eat dates, I don't know, maybe a couple times a month, and they're by no means a staple in my diet, and I don't believe they should be a staple in yours either. Once again, my name is John Kohler with OKRaw.com. We'll see you next time, and remember, keep eating your fresh fruits and vegetables. They're the best.